Why should you practice your English speaking alone? That's the question I'm going to answer. And in addition to that, I will show you some possible ways to practice your English speaking alone. So stay with me until the end. If you don't know me very well, hello, I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because every week I post different kinds of English videos to help you on your journey to fluency. So I appreciate you being part of this community. And if you are already subscribed, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend, hit the like button. That really helps the channel. Now, practicing your English speaking alone. Some students hear this and they feel upset. I don't have anyone to practice with. That is the number one thing I hear, okay? Every time I go live, every time I post a video, every time I go on social media, I read this, I hear this, and I understand. It can be frustrating to be in this situation. I know because I lived this situation, and nowadays when I practice my English, I'm alone, okay? I don't always have a native speaker available to talk to me. So I know how hard it can be. However, guys, you need to condition your brain to use your English, to use what you have, even if you are alone. Otherwise, when a future opportunity comes, you may freeze if you don't have this preparation. And I understand that some of you will say, oh, but no one will correct my English. But how about my mistakes? And we're going to get to that part. But it's important to understand that if you only receive and receive and receive information, if you ever have an opportunity to have, even if it's a 2-minute conversation with someone, you may freeze because you didn't give enough preparation to your brain, enough exposure. And this is something you can do by yourself. It is not perfect. Just as when you have a friend to talk to, it's not perfect either. The truth is, guys, we always overestimate the power of having, oh, but when I have that person talking to me, then my life will change. And it's not how it works. Of course, it is wonderful. It is great to have a partner. But when we get to real life, things are completely different because we also need to manage our emotional intelligence because fluency is also here in terms of emotion. Not the focus of this lesson, though. But anyway, first reason, active engagement. Speaking practice actively engages the mind. What I am doing right now, like it or not, is to push myself and to make myself speak. I'm not of course I can read the text, but I'm creating the sentences as I am here with you live. So this is a much more active form of engaging my brain when using the English language compared to when I am just reading, compared to when I'm just listening. So there's much more work involved. Okay? And by doing this kind of practice, I am teaching my brain to remember more and to understand how fast it is when I need to use the words. I don't have time right now to pause and go and check. I'm live. I'm doing this live. I don't interact in this kind of lesson because I just want to do it. I do it live for the purpose of not having to edit or anything. But I don't have time to pause and stay here for like 5 minutes thinking of what to say. So when you practice active engagement, you are conditioning your brain, hey, okay, so remember the simple present thing you studied? Time to use it. Oh, remember that phrasal verb? Yeah, now it's time to use it. And you will see that when you have this kind of active engagement, you will be able to identify areas for improvement, which is another reason I'm going to explain this further down the line here in this video. But actively studying will bring you the results you're looking for. I don't promise perfection, and I'm not trying to imply that after watching this video and talking non-stop for 2 hours a day and you will be fluent. That's not my point here. But just receiving and not doing anything about it will impact your journey to fluency, okay? A constant test environment. This is the reason number 2. And by practicing your English speaking alone, you create this environment, okay? You're not simply watching a lesson and receiving information. You are able to really put the ideas together, because as someone who studies alone, how do you know you're doing a good job? It's hard to know. But when you create a test environment, and when I say test, I don't mean test in the sense of, oh, I passed, oh, I failed, oh, I'm good, oh, I'm bad. No, it's for improvement. Fluency is communication, not perfection. But when I create this test environment, I'm not just sitting down with the purpose, oh, okay, let me watch another grammar lesson. Okay. Did it, I studied it, yay. Oh, let me watch this vocabulary lesson. Teacher Prix posted yesterday 5 phrasal verbs with a preposition on. Okay, I watched the video, done, yay, I'm great. No, you need to create a test environment. And what is the best way to do that? By speaking alone. You will be challenging your English speaking skills, and you will be able to analyze what is working and what is not. If your pronunciation, and you should record yourself when practicing your English speaking so that you can listen and analyze, am I clear? Do I understand the words coming out of my mouth? That's a very important thing. And you could ask yourself right now, and you could ask me in the comments, maybe you could be thinking about asking that. Okay, but I record myself. How do I know I'm speaking correctly? How do I know if I'm doing the right thing? You are alone. Let's simplify your practice, okay? How do you analyze as someone who studies alone? Analyze based on what you can do and what you cannot do. Oh, I tried to speak about my family tree. I couldn't. There you go. You need to improve. Oh, I tried to read a text, but I couldn't pronounce some words. There you go. You have to work on that. So simplify your analysis. Don't try to become a teacher and try to analyze every mistake you make. That's not the goal of this practice. Simplify to what I can do, what I cannot do, what I can use, what I cannot use. I watched a video, I learned 3 phrasal verbs. Can I actually use those phrasal verbs? Or am I suffering for 10 minutes to create one phrase? So let's say you study the phrasal verb, and then you try to create an example orally. It takes you 10 minutes. You need to work on that. Maybe watch a few more lessons. Maybe pick more examples. So can, cannot. I can do, I can't do. I can understand, I cannot understand. I can use, I cannot use. So this would be an excellent way to simplify your analysis, because at the end of the day, teachers correct. In real life, people don't stop you all the time you make a mistake. No, every time you make a mistake, people will not be, you know what? I think you need to work on your TH sound. Here are some lessons for you. Oh, moreover, why don't you try to work on your word endings? Yes, but now let's continue with the meeting. Nobody's going to do that. In real life, people understand or not. People do what you ask or not. People ask you questions and they try to ask again, or they keep going. This is the kind of feedback in life. Either you do or not. But if you make mistakes in the process, but people understand the point, that's communication. That's good enough for me. Does that mean you're never going to work on your English to improve? No, absolutely not. You have to practice. You have to improve. I'm not an advocate of speaking wrongly, speaking incorrectly. No, that's not my take here. I am a believer that we need to polish our English, improve our communication skills. But when it's showtime, nobody cares. When it's showtime, they remember if you could deliver. They remember if you were confident. Were you confident during the meeting despite your mistakes? Could you deliver a message? Could you close the deal? Could you make the sale? That's what people remember. And then in a separate moment, someone may give you some feedback. Hey, why don't you try improving this pronunciation? But it's rare. Okay, when it's showtime, that rarely happens. Moving on. Mind conditioning. The most successful people prepare. I was watching a tennis match before this lesson, just a little bit. I couldn't really watch everything. And I know this player well, and I know how long he prepares, like every day. His preparation is insane. He takes his job very seriously. And when it's game time, he does his very best. And this is with every tennis player. You know, it's not just him. But I know because I follow his work and I follow how hard he works on his tennis skills. So most successful people prepare. Why aren't you preparing yourself? I'm already fluent and I also prepare myself. Every time I go live, I take like 10, 15 minutes. I go through these slides and I speak. And I tell myself, okay, Priscilla, why don't you use this connector? Okay, use this expression. Oh, let me try to explain this a little bit before I go live. Because successful people prepare. And there's no shame in preparation. This is what I don't understand. People want to practice their speaking when they have someone. You have to prepare now. Watching this lesson, for instance, is completely different from explaining this lesson orally. Try. Give it a try. You will see that organizing the ideas is difficult. Putting the ideas together, creating a sequence is challenging. Realizing how to connect the dots will be challenging if you never do that, because it's a speaking exercise. So when you watch something and when you talk about it, these are completely different conditionings. So you need to start thinking about that fluency starts here. So organization. I love describing what I watch to practice my ability to speak objectively, concisely. Sometimes I watch a 20-minute video, a 30-minute video, and I challenge myself to be able to explain the most important points in under 10 minutes. And then I watch myself and I pay attention. Did I miss anything important? And then I compare with my notes. I compare with the main video. Because it's an exercise. It's an ability that can be nourished, that can be improved. And we can all do it, whether we have company or not. It is much better when we have company, when we have a program, when we follow guidelines. Of course, I agree with you. But even then, with the advancement of technology, nowadays you can find pretty much anyone to practice your English speaking with. Really, just go online and you search and you will find. But the quality, that's the issue. Now you can find, I give private consulting, yes. But if you go on some apps and some websites, you can find a teacher that will charge you $5 for 30 minutes of conversation. But what is the quality? What is the strategy? What is the method? Just do it alone. Or really make the investment to have high quality consulting calls. And this is the difference. It's not just to speak, speak, speak. You need a strategy, even when you're doing these exercises alone. If you just decide to speak without any preparation, you're not going to speak about anything. So there's mind conditioning. There is a plan behind this. When I talk about these videos, if you put my videos together, you will see that I have shared a lot of key points to help students who study alone practice their English speaking. And by the way, make sure to share this video if you're finding it useful somehow. That really helps my channel. And if you're interested, I have an ebook that talks about speaking. I give 20 speaking exercises you can do alone, and even how to get some feedback online, how to correct yourself. And my study plan, who is really something I recommend students who are studying alone. You know, you should definitely get it. But anyway, let's keep rolling, right? Personalize your practice according to your difficulties. Yeah, now I explained to you the reasons. Those were the reasons. You need mind conditioning. You need to have a constant test environment. You need to prepare yourself because your brain needs to have that kind of exposure, even if you are alone. Here I am alone in my room, in my office practicing, but I'm recording this. I'm doing this live. I'm not reading anything. I have some notes here, but that is not enough to make a video. That is never enough. I have to use the grammar I study. I have to use, the vocabulary I know. And this is much more pressure compared to if I just write. That's why when I write, I remember much more vocabulary, more phrasal verbs, more important, more special expressions, and, advanced and polished stuff. But when it's showtime, let's go. I don't have time. So this is preparation. But now, okay, Priscilla, I get it. What can I do then? You will personalize your practice according to your difficulties. Because come on, guys. If you start talking to yourself, if you start practicing by yourself and you just practice easy stuff, you will stay in the same place. Oh, how was your last weekend? Well, last weekend, I went to the movies with my mom. After the movies, I went back home and we had lunch or dinner. On Saturday, I cleaned the house. On Friday, I went out with some friends for some drinks. That's very basic. So only talking about comfortable subjects will not help you improve, will not help you prepare for difficult times. And what is considered a difficult time? That is very personal. That's why I have to personalize. So let's say you are preparing for a job interview. I have prepared so many people for job interviews, so many different areas, doctors, lawyers, teachers, architects, engineers, so many people. I have prepared so many people for job interviews. And one question that is easy for one person may be very difficult for another. So what is difficult for you? Think about what you want to do right now with your English speaking. What is a difficult subject for you to talk about? Is it difficult for you to talk about latest topics being shown on TV? Let's say you turn on the TV right now. I don't watch much TV, but you go to CNN and you see something about what is happening in the world right now. Could you talk about it? Or would it be difficult? Would it be difficult for you to organize your ideas? Practice that, okay? Is it difficult for you to describe your country in details? Wow, Priscilla, I never thought about that. Talking about my country? Let's practice that. Is it difficult for you to describe your job in details as a doctor? If you perform surgeries, can you describe a surgery in detail, orally, without help, step by step? Let's say you remove gallstones. You're a doctor and you perform that kind of surgery. Can you describe in detail, step by step, what you do in English without looking at notes, without asking for help? Can you do it? So is this difficult for you? So that is something you should practice. And I will talk about the preparation and how you practice, but thinking about the subjects, they need to be connected to something more challenging. Is it difficult for you to interact in meetings and ask questions, ask follow-up questions? Practice that. Combine writing and speaking. Now here I have one practical exercise, but when it comes to something being difficult, then we need to take a step back. I didn't talk about this here, but that's why my study plan is so useful, because when you pick a subject that is more challenging, you will require more preparation, written preparation, reading, writing, listening, and then speaking, sometimes even grammar and vocabulary. So depending on the complexity of the subject, you will need to spend more time combining the English skills to prepare yourself to talk about that subject. But one quick exercise I like doing, and I do this a lot, especially with the students who need to prepare for certifications, TOEFL, IELTS, let's see, Cambridge certification. I like to do the 30-45. What is the 30-45? I ask you a question, typically difficult. I give you 30 seconds to prepare. And what is this preparation? You write. And what do you write? Not much. You have 30 seconds, I know. But it's a kind of exercise to help you organize your thoughts. So what do? You have 30 seconds. It's really nothing, guys, but trust me, it's not much. You will write bullet points of important things that you could answer in this question. And then when the timer is up, you set the timer again to 45 seconds, and then you start answering that question. So what is this, and why is it such a short time? When we are in real life, we don't have much time to prepare, right? Let's go, it's show time. But here I'm giving you about 30 seconds so that you can take a deep breath, take a breather, and think of 2 things you would like to put in this answer. And that is a very good exercise. Oh, Priscilla, that is not enough for me. I need more time to prepare. Then, okay, you can pick a question. You can answer in writing. You can write all your answer. No problems. Take the time you need. But when it's speaking time, you put away your notes and you try your best to answer the question. So this is also very useful, okay? The 30-45 is to add more pressure. Because when we're speaking, we feel more pressure. we feel a lot of pressure when we have to speak. So this imitates a little because you have a timer, you don't have much time. So it imitates the real life pressure. But the other option is I pick a question, then I answer it, I check vocabulary, I try to embellish it, I do my best. Finished, put it away, and then I do what I can do with my speaking. So this will be very useful. And always keeping in mind, difficult. If you pick a very easy question, nothing is going to change in your life. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with a friend. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!